What would that superpower be and why when it comes to navigating life or a student that's looking to, transition from maybe high school to college?
Definitely. Even from high school to college to the real world, I think resilience
Okay.
would sum up my college career. I didn't come out in the standard time. I almost became a professional student, as you know. Well, being
Yes.
resilient, knowing that, there's light at the end of the tunnel,
Hmm. Hmm.
gotta go at your own pace, but still make it to the finish line.
Hello, I want to welcome you all back to season 4 of How to Play the Game of College, y'all. And I keep saying this every week, but I cannot believe we are in season 4. And y'all, this season, I'm super, super excited. I have some just really great people, great guests, great colleagues, great fraternity brothers. The list goes on and on. And today is no exception. I got my guy, Mr. Justin Tate. Justin is a financial advisor at Regis Bank, but he has many, many different hats. He's a father. I just mentioned earlier, fraternity brother, a former student. All right, we'll talk a little bit about that during our interview. But Justin, I want to welcome you to the podcast. How you doing today, my guy?
I'm doing well, mid week, so doing the best I can do. And thank you again for having me on here, Sean. I really appreciate that.
No, man, no, man. I'm just again so excited about this conversation. And again, my intent was to have guests that I really, really knew this season. And you're one of those people that started as a student, but have developed into fraternity brother, friend. And I just think your journey is just so unique when we talk about just the post-secondary journey as a whole. And so with that being said, man, I'm gonna start out by just having you to give us just a high level overview of who is Justin Tate.
Yeah, who is Justin Tate? Justin Tate is first off a father of three beautiful children.
Yeah.
Um, they keep me busy, they keep me energetic, and they keep me thinking as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside of that, son, nephew, best friend to many, some will call me brother, mentor. I'm the guy that likes to put smiles on people's faces, but I'm also a learner and I love
Yeah.
to read and learn new things about what's going on. So yeah.
Got you, got you. Man, that's so great. And again, just hats off to the many different things that you're doing, especially I think, and you probably would agree, the biggest hat is the father hat.
Yeah, it's
We
the hat
we
that,
on
like,
that.
sometimes it's straight, sometimes you got to turn it back.
Man, yes, yes. The hide out the gray, man. That's what I had to wear my hat for. Uh, but yeah, man, what I'm doing this season to kick us off is if you had one superpower to give to a student, and you could kind of look back at your former self, right? Just one superpower, just in life, right? What would that superpower be and why when it comes to navigating life or a student that's looking to, transition from maybe high school to college?
Definitely. Even from high school to college to the real world, I think resilience
Okay.
would sum up my college career. I didn't come out in the standard time. I almost became a professional student, as you know. Well, being
Yes.
resilient, knowing that, there's light at the end of the tunnel,
Mhm,
gotta
mhm.
go at your own pace, but still make it to the finish line. So it's
Man,
being resilient.
yes, I could agree more. Like you said, it's just a good one to have just in life in general, right? It's all, I tell folks all the time, it's not about the fall. Everybody's gonna fall, right? You're
Yeah.
not exempt from falling, right, in this thing that we call life, but it's all in how you get up, man. And so again, resilience, man, is a key to so many different things. Justin, we're gonna go back, man, down memory lane. Yes. And Justin, I think I met you. I know you are a student. I want to say, I think I got a kind of good memory. Is it White Station?
Yes,
Yeah, White
it's
Station High School.
Spartans.
Yeah, White Station High School. And I think White Station is still one of the top high schools in the state of Tennessee, man. So they're doing some really, really great things over there. But I remember you really more from the University of Memphis. Talk about your journey. I know how you just kind of did a preview of, hey, I went to the left, I went to the right, I went in circles, I went back 3 steps, I went, 2 steps forward, Paula Abdul
Couple steps,
say.
couple steps
Right.
back. Yeah. So yeah,
So, yeah, man,
my
I think it's so important for students to hear, sometimes college is not like the cookie cutter way. People get to it in so many different ways. Talk to us about that.
yeah, so my career in college was definitely not a straight line. I started off in University of Memphis,
Okay.
majored in chemistry.
Yeah.
And, my first semester there, I was just overwhelmed. There was so many students, even for a chemistry class. You walk into the big auditorium, it's 200 plus students. If you don't get there early, you're sitting in the back. My teacher at the time was still on the chalkboard. I might be telling my age, but he was still writing on the chalkboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Class started at 8, end at 9, and that's it. Like, hopefully you got it. And if you
Yeah.
didn't get it, you had to find out how to get it. So started off in University in Memphis, and just the big class sizes just didn't kind of do too well. And so definitely ended up, you remember in Memphis, then I ended up going to Lemoore and on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that. So I know you mentioned, of course, getting the U of M. It was kind of like this big, like, whoa, this big class.
Yeah.
You kind of on your own, and how you really got the information. What transitioned you from the University of Memphis to Lamont College? Two totally different types of colleges, right?
Totally different thing. Shout
Yeah.
out to all the HBCUs out there.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
happened,
T-shirt today. Yes. HBCUs. Yes.
yes, end up actually getting a golf scholarship to go to Lemoore.
Okay.
So went there, and then I got to see the professors, the class, smaller class size. Like the maximum amount of students I probably had per class is anywhere between 20 to 40.
Okay.
It was a more intimate setting for me, the learning setting. At a younger age, I wasn't afraid to ask questions anymore.
Mhm.
Teachers had a little bit more time,
Okay.
stay after class and do things like that. And you can imagine majoring in something like chemistry, biology, you're always going to have questions
Mhm.
before
Mhm.
and after class. So that definitely fit my academic palette
Yeah.
and what I needed. But it was still tough.
Okay. Okay.
Still
Yeah.
had still had hurdles, still had a lot of hurdles there. While the class sizes were smaller, our teachers were very passionate in the sciences. That's the best way I can put it. And
Okay.
so there,
Yeah.
yeah, wasn't any half stepping on still with exams and studying. I kind of recall, I even tell my oldest son sometimes, like, he used to have 4-hour exams. Like in the chemistry class, 5
Wow.
questions would be a 4-hour exam.
Wow.
It was still tough.
So yeah, yeah, got you. And so, look, I feel like there's a lot to unpack right there. So again, in my book, How to Play the Game of College, I talk about college fit, right? And so I love how you talking about, man, I keep going to all these songs today. Aaliyah, at first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again, right? But I like how you say, hey, I started U of M, really wasn't anything wrong with the school. It just was not the right fit for me at
Was
that time, right? And so you went over to a way smaller school. I think U of M, what, 20 something thousand students. Lemoyne may be 1,000, right? So
right, right.
yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best part about higher education, right? I tell students all the time, and I actually just spoke to a group of students the other day, and I was like, you have to make your education journey custom fit to you. It's like you would do with a suit, right? You don't want get it off the rack. It's gonna be great. It's gonna look good, right? But when you get that custom fit, man, you're gonna stop folks in their traffic, right? It's like, hey, man, where you get that from, right? And so again, the journey has to be custom fitted to you. So you went over to Lemoyne, seemed like you had a pretty good experience, but you are admitting you still had some hurdles. Can you talk about a few of those? Again, one reason I do this podcast is for students who might be listening. I know you
Yeah.
have a son that's what, a junior or sophomore?
Sophomore, he's going to sophomore.
Sophomore, yeah, yeah. And I have a son that's a junior, and so I get this for them so they can hear our journeys, right? Talk about some of those obstacles that you endured, and maybe how did you get around them?
Yeah, so your first title when you're in college is student. And so then I added student athlete.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then I added student athlete parent, and it was just like, so
Oh,
you're
okay.
trying to balance going, and then I still worked at the same time. So
Wow. Okay.
you're in
Okay.
home class in the morning, you're doing athletic practice that evening, and trying to fit in time, with your kids, and then you're going to work at night, a schedule I would never recommend.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
to anybody that's on that college journey, college is already hard enough.
Yeah.
Because at some point in time, when that happens, you have to reduce the amount of hours you're taking, which then prolongs graduation, right?
Exactly.
You
Yes.
can't really do a full schedule, be a student athlete and a parent. It's possible, wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
But trying to juggle all of that, you kind of have to shift your priority now from being the student hat was first to now like the parent hat is first. And now you still have the athlete balance on top of it. But I still
Okay.
got to go to work too. So what I kind of did was I found a job and kinda allowed me to study overnight, worked overnight at a
Mhm.
hotel, so
Okay.
night audit, but I still,
Yeah, yeah,
still able to read and study and do things like that, and it didn't affect too much of the day.
yeah.
I but it was tough. The resilience you had to be, because
Mm, mhm.
for those watching, if you haven't went in your dorm and thought, "I'm sick of this, I'm tired,"
Yeah, yeah.
like, cried a couple tears, like, "What's going on?"
Right,
Waiting for
right.
those I remember waiting for those grades to post, like, what
Yeah, yeah,
on these finals. That
yeah.
journey is real, so I would tell the students out there, put less speed bumps on their road
Mhm,
to
mhm.
awesome.
Man, so true, so true. And again, what I'm hearing, man, is college is really just a preview of life, right? If you get some of those skills and strategies earlier, right? I always tell my son, like, when you're in college, like you learn so much because it's really the first time you're on your own, away from parents, and a lot of times you're paying your own bills and you got all this freedom, right? But if you don't know how to really handle the freedom, it can be a stumbling block. I
Yeah,
like to
it'll
say.
handle you. It'll
Yeah,
handle
it will handle you, right?
you.
And again, that's where we see so many, me being in the field of higher education now, almost 22 years, I've seen it all, right? And so I
Yeah,
like how you said, hey, you probably can't come into college and work 40, 50 hours. It's a full-time job, right? And with the many other things that's going on. I want to pull out, heard you say during your response about being a father in college. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is when you in this, I'm assuming your son, right? When
yeah.
you're at college. Okay.
Yeah, so son and my daughter,
Okay.
she's towards the later end to be graduating.
Okay.
So for all the parent students that's out there,
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna get better. Having to try to study and balance time, I think it was the thing of keeping that energy
Okay.
after the test, after the study, and after the job, because you want to be, present with your children. And many times, like I be there, but mine is just beat from the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beat
Yeah.
from the day. I'm thinking about the final that's coming up,
Mhm. Mhm.
going to work tomorrow, or we got a tournament here. So it definitely put on a lot of stress. But the pro to that is once you matriculate and get out of college and start to work, you kind of get
Mhm.
to grow with your kids a little bit. You
Yeah.
see a little
Yeah.
bit longer, you can do a little bit more activity. So that was definitely the pro to me, being able to grow
Yeah.
with the kids, because as I look back, I was still a kid. You want to admit
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
15,
Yeah.
19, 20, 21, 22, but
Right.
still very much a child.
True. So true. And,
Just
and and again, I think, like you said, being a child is really mindset. I had my son at 27, but I still like look back like I didn't know anything. Like I was learning on the job, literally. Then I was older, but like you said, it's kids are such a blessing. And I wanted you to really call that out because, many students I meet, it's like, hey, I got a child. I don't know if I could do college, or hey, I got to college and end up, having a child. I got to drop out now, but I love how you're saying, "Hey, I still was able to, go, not use it as a something that's gonna really take me out of college, but it was able to really propel me." And it seems like you're doing it for your kids, which, man, is great. Yeah.
yeah, when you're in that position, and it was nice to where, like, man, gotta finish this. You want to finish early. You want to finish. You want to network. You want to make sure you can get a better job than your peers, because
Yeah. Yeah.
once that once you walk across that stage, there's no going back.
So true. So
Yeah,
true.
you're in the real world even more now, and so
Right.
kinda
Right.
laying that foundation when you leave as a student parent is essential to
Man.
know where you're going. Maybe you need to take an internship somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
research some companies, see that these company policies favor parents. A lot of
So true.
companies are turning to that now, to where they're, understand you have a child and things like this. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But man, appreciate you being so transparent with it. I know it's going to help so many students, right? Going to college, or some that might be in college, right? So definitely appreciate you sharing that. I know you're in the financial field, right? And as I think about college, right? I didn't know a thing, man, about. I remember. I don't feel like they do this anymore. I think it was a law that was put into place. Thank God. But I remember even like, hey, sign up for a credit card, you get a free T-shirt, sticker bar, And so and then it's like, oh, and then if they offer you a gift card, it was like, whoa, I'm really finna sign up.
Yeah.
What's I guess what's a good piece of advice? I know you and I've dealt with you, even though my personal finance business, man, and I'm still learning a lot in my age. But the younger student who might they don't even have a barely got a credit card, I don't do they still do checkbooks? I think they do.
I
Right.
think you no more.
They got cash out, right? Cash app or a credit card. What piece of advice would you give to a student to like help them to really develop that financial sense? Because I feel like the earlier you get it, the better.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a couple of different things.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
thing is don't borrow more than you need. Point
Okay.
blank period. If you
So
don't,
so should a student are you talking about for loans?
yeah, don't
Okay, okay, yep, yep.
don't borrow more than you need,
Yeah.
and unless you're a student that's gonna go into some type of public service,
Okay,
they
yeah.
might have a type of agreement later to do forgiveness.
Mhm.
Figure out
And yes.
yeah,
Yeah. So true.
you'll get that. Don't
Yeah.
borrow more than you need. And also for my students that are working,
Okay.
go ahead, even if you're putting 10 to $20 and that institution might have a retirement account,
Okay.
get into the habit of saving for retirement. That's something that I should have
Oh,
done
wow.
when I was working in college, did not do.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and there would have been an extra 4 years of savings that I could have, built up
Mhm.
once I got out of school.
Yeah.
Credit cards. What I've seen
Yeah, yeah.
cards is definitely pay before the due date and just use it to build credit.
Okay.
Don't buy what you need, not what you
Yeah.
want. Use it to build credit because what I've seen from my younger clients that come out of college, on top of the student loan debt, they made a really big nest
Oh,
credit card debt as well.
okay. Okay.
And when they look back on it, McDonald's, Dixie Queen,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
stuff that
Just like you said, if you don't know, you don't know.
yeah,
It's always it's amazing to me, students like, "Hey, I got this refund check," and I'm like, "Is it from a scholarship?" They were like, "No, my loans. I'm gonna have to go buy this and this and that." But if you don't know, looking back,
yeah,
if you don't
just
know, you just don't know. Yeah,
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 imagine that. And if you are getting a refund that is not from loans, go talk to a licensed professional
yeah,
where we can
yeah.
park this money
Mhm.
until I graduate.
Got you.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man, I think that's so beneficial, and again, the work that you do, just the knowledge. I know we go to the same barbershop, and I know when we're in there, we're always talking about just, hey, how to prepare for retirement, or again, the younger. Yeah, I know my son just got a credit card, and sometimes he's even scared to use it because it's like, hey, I don't know, and I got to pay. And I'm like, well, no, like you said, if you're a good stewardess of it, right? You're building credit,
Yeah.
right? You paying by the due date. There's not a lot of late fees and missed payments. It could be a good thing, especially for emergencies too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Definitely don't wanna burn that bridge as far as
yeah, yeah.
missing going over the credit utilization,
Okay.
keeping it under 30% if all possible,
Yeah.
not, applying for too many, inquiries, getting it up, you know,
Okay.
just trying to settle any debt that you might have, just calling that company, and trying to work out a payment plan with them. That
Got you.
once that I have seen students to where they get their first, big boy, big girl job, and they're like, "Yeah, I got this student debt from I got these
Oh
credit cards."
yeah.
That's just
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, definitely thank you for sharing that. And I guess as we talk about the value of education, Justin, in the times we live in, I know you have kids around my age, my kids' age as well. And now, my son will come home and be like, Dad, this guy in my school, he's making $3,000 a month on YouTube, and he's not going to college, right? And it's the world we live in that it's a real thing, right? Content creation and
Mm.
all these things that are going on is really pulling folks away from the value of a post-secondary credential. What would you tell, and I guess even maybe talking to your kids, maybe your son, or he's in the 10th grade thinking about college, what do you tell him that has been the most value to you when it came to getting a post-secondary credential?
What I got from my post-secondary credential is that it's gonna teach you how to adapt,
Mm, mhm.
grow, and be patient.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, when you first get into college, you're adapting every year because the curriculum is getting more harder, it's getting more disciplined. You
Mhm.
gotta grow as a person too, right?
Yeah.
To kinda look at some of your to say, "You know what? I'm not the best with communication. I'm not the best with keeping up with schedules and trying to figure out how to make that stronger once you get out into the real world. And then you also got to be patient. I mean, my kids, they tell me all the time, they see the guys, the people on TikTok and Instagram, like you said, making this, but the reality is this is less than one, almost probably less than 1% of content.
So true, Justin. Yeah, so true.
And me and my
Yeah.
son, we just talk about end goals, like, how long could this last?
Mhm, mhm.
How long will this last? Because me and you, we've kind of seen the start of technology, and
Yeah.
every couple years is a different app, right?
Right.
No,
I'm gonna say, man, you just keep digging a deeper hole with our ages, brother.
it's
Yes.
right.
Yes, but I got what you're saying.
It's so
Yeah.
I just kind of remind him, like, I think what students have to realize, passion versus purpose.
Mm,
You might have a
yeah.
passion to get on there to talk, to do reviews,
Yeah.
to review your favorite book, review your favorite music, and that's cool. That's a great
Mhm,
outlet.
mhm.
But going back and focusing on what is your purpose? Why are you here?
So
Is
true.
is your purpose to be a doctor? Is your purpose to be a mentor? Is your purpose to go into law? Is your purpose to open a business?
Yeah.
And then doing that passion on the side. So
Mhm, mhm.
that's kind of what I kind of dive into, keeping that purpose first.
Yeah, man, we could just end the interview right there. Man, so true. So
Yeah.
true. And I tell people that all the time, man. Like once you find your purpose, and everybody has a purpose. I think that's one of the biggest, misconceptions is like, oh, I don't think I got a purpose. Like I'm just going day by day. Everybody was put here with a purpose, but when we find it, right, it's up to us to like find it and really like develop it, right? And you'll know when you got it. It's like to me, purpose is like it's just this feeling like I tell man, I was again at a school the other. I'm like, man, I get to do this. Like it's just this feeling like no other, right? When I'm helping students or in the college, said same with you with finances. I can see when we're in the barbershop, man, you light up when we're talking about, that's not my thing, but no, but I've learned like, man, that's the joy of life. Like everybody, has their thing, right? And you could just see, but I think passion recognizes purpose recognizes purpose, right? So when you talk about finances, I'm like, man, my guy too. It makes me want to talk about it. Or if I'm talking about education, it may not be your thing, but you're like, man, okay,
I'm learning something. Yeah, I'm still learning
yeah,
something.
so I want to learn some
Yeah.
more. So, man, I think that's so, man, a big piece of advice for students, delayed gratification, right? Finding your purpose is what I'm hearing you say. And then, like you said, man, let's look at the data. Like, how many content creators
Yes.
here in your circle that are really bringing home enough to, like, and so, man, I think those are very important things. Yes.
You definitely want to be real with yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I feel like those 4 or 5 years you spend in college is gonna be your cushion until you get to the real
So
world.
true. So
Like
true.
you're riding a bike with the trainer wheels on,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's that big day. Let's take them off.
So true.
Uh,
So true.
so being prepared.
Yeah, yeah, man. Well, what, Justin? We are almost at the end of the interview. I feel like we could talk for a couple of hours.
I mean, we can.
Uh, yeah, man. But as we close, the last question, and you kind of talked about this in your previous response, but for that young man that might be looking, or even looking to go to college, or someone who's dropped out of college, or trying to get back in college, or whatever the case may be, or look at your previous, the smaller, the one I do from the University of Memphis, right?
Yeah,
I think you were what, maybe 18,
man,
19,
fresh out.
around there, man. And so, what piece of advice would you give to your younger self?
Man, that's a great question. And Imma say this, the piece of advice I would give to my younger self, what kept me going is that
Yeah.
when you sit down after college with your degree, nobody's gonna ask you how long it took or when you
Mm.
got in or when you got out.
Yeah.
Once you have it, you have it.
Yeah. So true, man.
So the advice I would just be resilient, like
Mhm.
nobody's keep going.
So, man.
Just keep going
Yeah.
and build a circle of people that are like-minded like you that, that wanna go across the bridge and go there too.
Man, 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 appreciate that again, man. I know it's gonna be someone who hears this interview that it's gonna be like, oh man, I needed that confirmation. So I appreciate you just being again transparent and sharing your story, man. And
Right.
one thing I like to do about guests that I have on this season, again was super intentional, and so I know everybody. So like, y'all, so y'all know about this. I send out questions for folks, but I rarely use them because I know the people, right? And so I'm like, man, I know this story and and I know you feel comfortable sharing it. So you did that today. And again, want to give you your flowers, man. I've been knowing you how many years
Thank
now,
you.
man?
It's been a while.
Wow, yeah, I
It's
think
been a
even
while.
in I was hurt early in my career in higher ed,
Yeah.
and just seeing you, go through different obstacles, man, and just how I mean, you went through them, man, and you're doing, man, you killing it, and so
Yeah.
just, man, thank you for doing all that you do, especially the father. I do out of the many hats. I'm like, man, Justin is killing it when it comes
Thank
to
you.
fatherhood, and it inspires folks
Mm.
like me to do the same, man. So
I
appreciate you.
appreciate that. No, I
Yes,
appreciate
sir. Yes, sir. Well, man, thank you for being on here today. To my
it.
guests, make sure y'all share, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment. Justin's gonna be under this video when y'all comment, respond to bank, right, Justin?
I am.
Yes, yes, yeah.
I'll be waiting,
Yes, and
waiting on
Justin, we'll make sure to put all your contact information in here if folks want to get in touch with you, especially around, different financial business they got to go to, y'all. Any financial questions and concerns, make sure to contact Justin. And make sure y'all tune in next Wednesday. We'll have another great guest like we did today. And again, looking forward to seeing you all on the podcast next week. Thank you again, Justin.
Thank you.